Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Single Chronicles. I'm your girl R.S. Lewis, aka the Insomniac Writer, and today I want to talk about redating. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to tell you, stick around. But I know what I said last episode, and I'm sorry that you guys aren't getting these as frequently as they used to, but, things have been kind of busy and crazy or whatever, and as we count down the conclusion of the Single Chronicles podcast, there are a lot of things I do have in store for this podcast, so just stick around. Now, if you're new here, make sure you heart, favorite, save, share this podcast, or do whatever you have to do so you can be notified of other episodes and you can come back to it at any time. For everyone else, welcome to the Single Chronicles. Missing someone. Missing someone. Missing someone. So redating. It's an idea, well, it's not an idea, but it's a word that I've heard used, not a word that I made up, for people who have decided to go back and date someone else. Now, I know in the past with the podcast, I've said things about dating your ex, why I personally wouldn't do it, and all this other good stuff. But people change, okay? People make decisions, they be like, you know what? So I'm going to explain, I'm going to explain further in detail what it is, but I also want to get into the why I decided to kind of do it and the decision behind it. So last episode, I talked about remaining single, remaining abstinent, staying focused on the task at hand. And I honestly am. However, I'm still doing the abstinence thing. I've decided with this person and I said, you know what, we can when we have the time, if the opportunity arises and it happens, fine, so be it. If not, oh well, so be it, but we will enjoy each other's time going out, having fun, because I've realized that with all the shit that I do between work, being a mom, helping my mom out, classes, doing this content creation on YouTube, trying to grow that, being a business owner with my wellness shop, just doing so many things. Like, I don't have time for me. I don't make any real time. Like, don't get me wrong. Every now and again, I'll hang out with friends. They'll, I do stuff with maybe coworkers or whatever. But I haven't had like this thing where I just have one person that I go out more consecutively than others. And me and one of my close friends, it was a coworker of mine. We just would start hanging out, going to movies. Every now and again, we might, catch a drink, grab some food or whatever. But it wasn't romantic. It was a platonic thing that we had going on. Yes, he was the opposite sex. Yes, he was attractive. Yes, I think I'm attractive. And, I don't think he thought I was bad looking. But it was one of those things where I'm single, you single. Let's just go out. Okay, let's do it. And that's where I am with the redating. So I had y'all for a second. Y'all like, oh, she said she wasn't going to be doing. Now, in this particular case, this person is someone I have been intimate with in the past. This is someone that I've done the hibbity-dibbity with. So that's why I'm on that notion, well, if it happens, it happens. But I just want you to know that where I am in my mind, because I've taken a lot of setbacks since the pandemic. Like, there have been massive amounts of growth, in all of my endeavors. But there have been some minor setbacks too. Like, financially, I took a setback because, business got slow. I haven't had a chance to promote everything that I do all the time. I rely heavily on social media promotion. And as you know, it's like if you are a business owner or a content creator or whatever, you already know it's hard enough trying to, focus on what you're doing and put stuff out there for your customers and just focus on your business or whatever it is you're doing. But now you got to fucking fight with an algorithm. And that shit is so frustrating. Like, now we got TikTok about to be belly up because, in the US that is, because whatever. But then, like, Meta, Facebook, Instagram has all these, like, dumbass restrictions in the background. Like, it's weird. It's like every time I turn around, the algorithm is constantly changing. Oh, we're going to show your post to people that might like it. Sometimes, maybe, if we like you. I don't know. But depending on what you're posting, depending on what you look like, we may not show it to everybody, but we might. We could have. It's just so weird. Then if you do have followers, it doesn't matter. Like, I have my main page has 20,000 something fucking followers. I'm lucky if I posted something and it said maybe 500 people, 500 friends saw it. 500 out of 24,000? Are you fucking kidding me? And it was like, wow. I remember one time they said 7. 7? Only 7. My fitness page, the Zumba page, that one, same thing. I had posted something and it said that I don't even know how many people follow. I think I posted something that got maybe 80 views. 80 views. And of that, some of them were followers, like maybe 5 weren't. Like, so you're not showing my shit to the people that follow me, and you're not showing it to the people that might be interested. Even though I decided, like, someone told me, it was like, look, if you want to be like, if you want to post stuff, make sure you're posting like content, you're following like accounts. And it's like every fucking time I put the hashtags in. You know what? Don't put the hashtags in. Do this, do that, blah, 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 blah. And before I go further off into this tangent, yes, it's going to come to a point. The point is that I found myself so heavily consumed with just fucking social media. Like, every time I turn around, I've taken courses, I've done this, I've done that, and the algorithm is just always constantly changing. I've even reached out to other content creators. I'm like, yo, are your views going down? How's your engagement? And they were like, yeah, it's gotten significantly lower. And I'm like, okay, I understand. So they're not trying to promote people. You put ads out there. I put an ad out there, and I told them, and this is a case that I have something with them right now. I wanted the ad within a 10-mile radius of a specific location, a specific address, not even just a part of the city, but an address. I wanted in a small radius, because I don't need a whole lot of people to come to this one particular class, but just enough to garner some attention in the neighborhood, walkable, because this is a low income area and I know that people don't drive. So I don't need people coming from far distances. I'm trying to engage the people in this one particular part of North Philly. I did an ad. Do you know 90% of the people that replied, like, not even 90, I'm going to say about half. I'm exaggerating. Half of them didn't even live in Philly, much less North Philly. I'm like, where are you from? Oh, Virginia. Virginia? Somebody said somewhere, I think Delaware. There was a lot of DMV stuff. And I'm like, do y'all not see this address? It's a Philadelphia address, city, and zip code. But whatever, I digress. So the point is that I noticed that I was spending so much time on my phone, on social media, mentally driving myself batshit crazy, all for me to just not yield the results that I was getting before I was even putting this much effort into social media. So I said, fuck it. You know what? I am done. Not done. I'm still going to do what I do, but I'm not going to stress myself out over these little dumbass apps. So then I started pushing content on TikTok. Started getting a nice little flow, started getting a nice little following. That's flowing now. That might be up in the air. But anyway, I got to the point where financially, because my businesses started taking these hits, and I'm like, I can't even promote the content that I want to promote because y'all don't show it to nobody. Like my Love Yourself Wellness page, I might repost some video, some motivational stuff, and that might get some views. But a lot of those people aren't even on this continent. Then I'll post something about the shit that I actually sell or health related things. And it's like, oh, you got to put a reel or a video that's related to the type of stuff you want to do, but you can't promote on your page because if you posted a thing that's like an ad or a flyer, that we're not going to push that through. They don't get as many views. It's not that they don't get as many views. You don't put it in the timeline. So it's like, it's just so much. They don't want you to put anything risque. So I'm kind of apprehensive of twerk stuff. But then, I know that traditionally thirst traps is where to attract people. But you're not showing on the Zumba stuff, because when I post that, I'm lucky if 7 of my 3,000 followers, I don't even know how many followers I have on the Zumba page anymore. I don't even care. But I'm lucky if anybody sees it. And Facebook is just as bad. So it's like, you know what, Meta, I'm done. So anyway, I noticed that I was getting stressed about that. Financially, things have gotten more expensive. So just stressing that. And a friend of mine, we were just talking. She was like, yeah, I'm coming to class. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yes, it's a she, by the way. I know I was talking in pronouns and then, second person or whatever. But anyway, she mentioned to me, she was like, yeah, I'll come to class. I'll support. I'll promote you. I'll do this. Da, 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 da. Like, but you were stressing yourself the fuck out. You need to go out, Rose. You need to go have fun. You need to have a social life. My mom got a social life. She in her 60s. She be going out having a good time. I'm in the house. Just in the house. And it's not because I'm just doing nothing. I'm editing. I'm trying to come up with great ideas of creative things to get people's attention on social media. Mind you, I'm not even focusing. I need to be focusing on choreos for class, or ideas for the podcast, or editing trailer reactions for YouTube or other things. No, I'm sitting up here trying to think of some catchy ass reel or a TikTok video just to get people alerted to the fact that I have a social media presence when I've always had one. I'm like, yo, I don't remember having to do all this tap dancing when it was MySpace. But anyway, the point is that it is what it is. So with all of that in place, they're going to, you're thinking about TikTok and all these other things, and the government getting involved to privacy, but you got algorithms and stuff. Like, we have no privacy, like companies have privacy policies, but what laws do we actually have to protect us? Like, if it wasn't for dude, I forget his name, the whistleblower guy, Snowden, like if he wouldn't have said nothing, we wouldn't have known that the fucking laptops and computers and shit were watching us. Like, come on now. I can sit up here and talk about, let's say I'm talking about vacuum cleaners, and I know that my phone is on, it's listening, and yada, yada, yada. Once I go to Instagram, they're going to show me an ad for vacuum cleaners. I guarantee you. So that being said, it's like, yo, y'all listening to what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm fucking talking about. But the minute I'm not saying what it is you want to say, even though it's not directly and offensive to anybody, it's the fact that you're not allowing people to follow the truth for their own and build their own ideas and critically think for themselves. You want everyone to think what it is you tell them is the truth and just swallow it. No, that's not how things work. You can't put out a bunch of disinformation out there and then people go around that, find the truth, and you say, oh, that's different, disinformation and propaganda. So that's my little rant. But anyway, I noticed that, like, my friend, I was telling her, like, she was just like, yeah, you are stressed the fuck out. What you need to do is stop stressing, relax, you know what I mean? Go out, let's have a drink, or let's go to the movie. Let's just hang out. It doesn't have to be anything. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Me and my homie Christopher Word, we used to do XYZ. We would go to the movies. She knows I love horror movies. And she's one of the few people that like horrors like I do. So I was like, yeah, I haven't even really been hanging out with my friends much. And like, I used to have people that would come to my house, like, for whatever reasons. Like, I might have a little get together, or just, hey, come over here for a Friday night, nightcap, chill, whatever. Just be a couple friends, whatever we be doing. Might sit out on my roof or my deck or my porch, or we just be in the house listening to music, watching movies, whatever. And just some neighborly type cool shit. So I don't do any of that anymore because, now, like, my mom's there, and I'm like, I don't want to have people in my house and she there and making her feel uncomfortable. And then my daughter, like, she would be with my mom when she lived in Maryland on some of those nights where I'm like, yes, we got adult content. Like, they might go outside, smoke a little weed, whatever the case might be. And that be something that I didn't want her to be privy to. So that'll be on the weekends when she with grandma. So, but now she's grown. So that's beside the point. But back then it was an option. Okay, you got the weekend with grandma or with your godmommy or whatever, your godfather or whatever, but this weekend is all mine, or however we would do it. So I just went to, and I was telling somebody, even on this podcast, I even told y'all, like, yo, you got to put you first. You got to love yourself. You got to make time for you. Money going to come and go. This, that, and the third. And then I got so caught up in my shit, I forgot about that. I forgot about me and having fun and, doing the things that I enjoy doing. So, we came up with that idea. Let's just go out. We don't have to do it very consecutively. Whenever you want to go see a movie, you go into the movies anyway. let me know when you go. I'll meet you there, or I'll pick you up, or you pick me, however we want to do it. And then we just go have a good time. And I was like, I prefer to us, you know, we meet there, because I don't want to intentionally turn this redate into something, because our breakup wasn't bad, but it was one of those things where I know it wasn't working out. You know it wasn't working out. Then you moved, and then after that, now you back in the area. And I'm not saying we're going to pick up where we left off, but we'll be open to the idea. But the thing is that I know my ending, my final chapter isn't going to be in Philly. I'm sorry. I'm putting my roots somewhere else. So I don't want to put myself in someone's life or allow them to be, I'm not putting them in my life. I'm not putting myself in their life. And then I just did. Like that situation. So until I really solidify where I'm finally going to be at, the dating thing is just the least of my worries. But at least now with the redating, quote unquote, having someone consistently and consecutively to go out with is still fun. Having someone to spend time with. And like I said, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. Yes, I'm still leaning towards the abstinence. Yes, she still knows that. She respects that. But again, it's no pressure. It's and I don't have to worry about, what you out here doing, or what I'm out here doing. And it works for me. It works for her. She's okay with it. And I told her, I said, look, if this is not good enough for you, like this platonic friend, whatever, if it doesn't work for you, because don't get me wrong, the urge be there. I'll be looking like, whew. But I'm not like so caught up on the lust side. I'm so focused on this shit that sometimes I'm like, all right, I gotta work. But she's there to balance me right now, and I need that, because I do get so engulfed in and wrapped in these things, and I get stressed the fuck out, and then I'm like, damn, it's 3:00 in the morning, and I gotta get up at 7. Let me go to sleep. So I'm definitely on that type of time where I don't want to be caught up in what I got going on, that I don't enjoy in my life, and that's what she's did. And it's basically a friendship. And it's not that I don't have that with other friends, like my friends that I hang out with. But, we all got lives. We got kids. One of my closest friends, she moved all the way up to New York. I had another friend that moved down south. People that got married, had kids, like my other homie. He done got married. So, he was dating before that. So it's like things happen. I had one girlfriend, we didn't hang out that much, but, she got grandkids now. And then, like, things happen, life happens, shit gets in the way, and people, somebody else I know, they converted to Islam, and they're just like, no, I don't do none of that, okay? And, I respect it. Whatever it is that you can do that's permissible, let me know. We'll do that when time permits. But I just got so caught up in my busyness, and I was starting to get into that whole trauma response of being hyper independent and hyper whatever, just busy, that I wasn't making time for me. And I was like, this is not a quality of life. I'm not going to sit up I'm not even spending that much time on my business or the stuff behind my business. I'm spending time promoting this shit on Instagram. How do I make this? It's so fucking frustrating. So I'm just glad. Thank you, baby. And I appreciate you for just being a friend, being dope. And I needed that. But like I said, I'm still single, but I'm not. I'm redating. And it's always a good idea to let people know, like, I am seeing things. Like, me and my ex are going to work things out. We're going to see. It wouldn't matter if it was a girl or a guy. Same difference, Because I do get suitors every now and again that be trying. And they be trying. I'm like, y'all do realize I like women. There's like one guy out there that potentially, if it was going to happen, I'd be like, all right, it might be you if it's going to be a guy. But he about that lifestyle he about that poly stuff, and that's not me. I mean, I don't knock it, but hey, go do you. Do you and whoever else you about to do, but I don't want to be in the rotation. Anyway, let me get on to the writer's reflections. Woosah. Today we talked about redating, putting yourself first, putting time out to enjoy life, and not getting boggled down by just being busy. One thing I've noticed, I used to hear it a lot. It's like, yeah, 9 to 5, you don't want to spend your whole life working and this, that, and the third. And I started thinking about Steve Jobs. He put so much into building Apple, Macintosh, all that other good stuff that at the end of the day, he died a millionaire. This man died very wealthy, but he had such a poor relationship with his children, in particular his first daughter. And I don't want that. You know what I mean? Like, my daughter's always known me to work and hustle. Now she's grown. Don't get me wrong. We have an amazing relationship. But I don't want to get caught up into trying to grow my business, trying to get it off, it's off the ground, but getting it to the next level that I miss out on life. No more than working a job, So I just got into, and, a friend actually pulled me back down to reality and said, hey, it's time to make time for you. And the reason why I particularly enjoyed it, enjoyed time, because it doesn't feel like this pressure, like hanging out sometimes with male friends. And maybe it's because she knows me better than most. It's like we'll be hanging, like I hate the fact when I hang out with certain platonic friends and it's going well, it's vibing, everything's great, and then the sexual urge just feels forced, and it's like, I don't like you like that. Stop. And it makes me just be like, I don't even want to hang out with anyone. So we have to find time to make time for ourselves, to do things, enjoy life, smell the roses, all these things that I've talked about countless times. I had to remind myself of doing that. And I can't get boggled down on one thing. Maybe I'll go back to good old-fashioned marketing, because social media is stressful. It is it's very saturated, it's very stressful, and things like shadow banning and restrictions, even though you're not violating anything or whatever, it's very tedious and it's headache inducing. So I decided I'm not going to allow this to be my legacy. What did you do? Oh, she was always working. I'm not. I would rather leave this planet. I don't want to be broke and destitute and poor, but at the same time, I don't want to be remembered as someone that was always busy, didn't make time to do any of the things I enjoy. Traveling, like last year I did some traveling. It was great. I decided that I want to get back onto that. Now I have someone to do that with, and it's someone that's no pressure, which works perfectly for me because I don't get me wrong. I think this is something that I've seen people do. I've been doing this with other friends. Every now and again, it's just like hanging out with girlfriends, hanging out with guy friends, and just friending and just enjoying the situations and stuff without the pressure to have sex. Because everyone is like, oh, that pressure to have sex sometimes takes away you wanting to be you, letting your hair down, just being comfortable, just being like very, very easy going. And like, it's just, I like, because I hate dating. I hate the dating scene. I hate dating apps and everything else. And this just was a game changer. And will it grow into something else? I don't know. It would be cool if it did, but it would be okay if it didn't. So that was what I wanted to talk about. I know everyone was like, hey, you said last time. But anyway, I'm out of here. There is no promotion for this week. I may get back into that before we conclude. And again, yes, the Single Chronicles will be concluding. I've decided that it may not be a permanent conclusion, but I will take a nice break. And as we end this season, if it's not indefinitely the last season, the episodes are going to be few and far between. I might do an episode every other week or whatever, because I have been trying to grow the YouTube channel. I have been trying to grow classes. And if I don't close the Love Yourself Wellness Shop, which I don't intend on doing, but I still want to keep pushing it. And the Love Yourself Wellness Shop has been something that really I just promote to my clients and students. I've been kind of like falling back and pulling away from trying to get just random customers. The website and everything is out there if anybody wants to order, but it's not something that I push heavily to promote. And I still make most of the beverages consistently because I consume them myself. So it's not like one of those things like, oh, I made all this juice and it got wasted. So, it is what it is. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Single Chronicles. Apologies and appreciative thanks and gratitude for you guys sticking in. This is the 116th episode. So it's not like we haven't been here, but I'm just like, wow. Like, it's one of those things where it's a surreal, bittersweet moment, saying goodbye to something that's got me through the craziest of moments. And yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Take care. I'm going to leave you on the note like I always do, and that is be awesome, be you, but above all else, love yourself. All right, guys, I will talk to y'all later. And if you haven't done so, make sure, again, please subscribe, save, heart, favorite, whatever you got to do, wherever you're listening to this podcast. But if you are on YouTube, definitely subscribe. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Take care. I am sad and so